At this point in time, the best course of action is to simply laugh at Target because I don't know what they're doing over there. Legitimately, I don't even know if anybody over there actually knows what they're doing, because are they looking over at Bud Light and trying to catch that fade by figuring out, look at them tank their business, tank their entire brand in such a short period of time. I think we can do it better. Because check this, they have better stock prices. Okay, they're a blue chip stock. They're trading at three digits, at least for the time being, per stock on the stock market. But because it's funny, because 10 days out from everything happening, I think when I closed on Friday, it was $10 billion in 10 days, and here we are a few days after the fact. It's Wednesday, so 13 days after trading, and we are just about keeping pace, just about. Oh, so close. A little bit of a spoiler for what we have ahead, I guess. But Target's stock has lost billions of dollars amid a pride backlash. Yeah, not so much pride they're taking in this one. Target Corporation's stock, that's very clumsy, but whatever, has lost a significant amount in the past 2 weeks. Oh, like it even took Bud Light to hit, I guess that would be 10, 11 digits to get into the multi-billion range. It took them the better part of a month, 6 weeks in order to reach that level. But Target, no problem, guys, no problem. The shares of the firm dropped about 0.8%, so just about a full percent, close, real close, on May 31st to $132.73, or about 17%. Down from about 2 weeks ago. On May 18th, when the stock was trading at likes of which you're not going to see, might peak up towards the end of the year, but they're going to have to right that ship, and they're going to have to right it awfully quick. $160.96. Data shows that the current levels are the lowest Target has experienced since the early days of the pandemic. Okay, so let me amend my previous statement. It's probably going to take a couple of years for them to rebound like that, because that's pretty bad. According to the analysis posted by the New York Post, Target stock has lost about $12.7 billion so far amid the backlash. Still not as bad as Bud Light, though, but they did have a considerable head start. Target has been the subject of a conservative-led boycott. Don't know about that, but I would at least agree with this a little bit more, maybe. But it's not really, because what was the group that called in the bomb threats to the different targets? Those MAGA hat wearing trannies? Oh, no, wait. Oh, because they didn't want to stand behind their pride collection. It was the Alphabet Mafia. Oh, interesting. But we don't talk about that anymore. Some items include a onesie for an infant that states "Bien Proud," good proud. That's weird. A children's book with the title "'Twas the Night Before Pride," which kind of sounds like you should be putting on 2 pairs of underwear, just in case. A book that tells children how to use transgender pronouns. I don't know, cock and load. Not like that, though. Not like that. And a handful of t-shirts with similar slogans, including the firm's website. The company also drew backlash for its tuck-friendly swimwear. Yeah. Women's tuck-friendly swimwear. What are you tucking? Giant labia? Not quite. But as much as we can stare from the outside looking in, we can take a look at the numbers. We can assess the value of the stock and realize that it might be a good time to buy, or you could just kind of let that ride out and wait until the second to last week in June in order to purchase some stocks, because they're going to rebound. Eventually, okay, there will be a new shiny thing for people to chase off in the distance, because as much as we're into, digging into the details and having a good laugh at the sake of corporations just dying at the altar of wokeness, most people are just gonna, I gotta go back to Target, okay, this is so much. I didn't necessarily see the pride signs that were there, so it's really not that bad. It's the closest store. They gotta get their fix at the end of the day. So, get while the getting's good. There's a time, while there's blood in the streets, it's time to eat. An old investor saying, and you would do wise if you had some expendable income to take advantage of the situation, but there's also a little bit of insight here where you might just want to ride this out for a little bit before you dive in, because we haven't quite reached the bottom. And we know Target's all about trying to reach the bottom. And they may have lost control of the narrative after Pride backlash. Consumer research expert. Target's decision to move some of its gay pride apparel in some of its locations made national headlines. And it may have lost control of its own narrative in the process. Yeah, because, okay, we can obviously tell that they're taking cues from the way that Bud Light handled this incredibly poorly. And so far, they've made, what, one statement? That's about it. The only way that you can do this is, like I've laid this out before with the Bud Light stuff. It's like, okay, make a statement that, oh, okay, cool. Our consumers don't want this stuff. Fantastic. The customer's always right. We apologize for the decisions that we made, and we're just going to do better in the future. Phrase it however you want to do it, and then just show a consistent pattern that you're actually capitulating to the whims of your customers, because at the end of the day, if you don't have any customers, you don't have a business. As much as my ESG score and I can get all the funding from BlackRock, they're not going to fund a dead on the vine company. They'll eventually trim those bushes of all the dead branches, and if they want to go ahead and continue to just spiral down and continue this death spiral, hey man, the BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, they're more than willing to just go, yeah, no more funding for you. We know that, yeah, we told you to do that stuff, theoretically, but not that hard. Christ almighty. David Evans is a chief insights officer for College Group, a consumer research firm that helps major U.S. brands like Target reach and cultivate relationships with groups that may have been ignored or passed over in prior times. He said most Americans, particularly younger ones, want to see companies represent people in diverse ways. I hate David Evans. Evans said Target had a long history of connecting with gay community. Did they? Well, I know that it's at least headquartered in Minnesota, don't you know, and they got kind of weird policies. But in the time period since it came to light that it was moving some of its pride displays due to what it claimed were threats against some staffers. Yeah, exactly. Name the people making the threats. Just name them, because we've seen a couple of right-wing personalities make some YouTube videos in some of the stores, knocking over some signs and causing a little bit of fuss, but they weren't the ones who were making terroristic threats. Just saying. It's faced heat from both ends of the political spectrum. Somebody's making a passing reference to it. And some of the right wing were irked by Target's touting of displays in the first place by promoting apparel with tuck-friendly swimsuits for trans women with dudes with mental health issues, while progressives feel betrayed by what they call a capitulation to right-wingers, because, yeah, they do that oh so often. Hey, what about those talking points from the left from back in the cut where they said, oh, we are underrepresented, nobody ever hears from us, and then, yes, just the brain-dead conservatives that are out there, and it's like, oh, they kind of got a point, I guess they have been underrepresented for a while, and well, that's fine if we just give them a little bit, they'll be acting in good faith, and here we are. So they earned a lot of resonance with the community from allies. I don't like this guy at all. But they probably did lose control of the narrative a little bit. You don't say. You don't say. Because what ended up happening was the press is all about Target pulls the merchandise, as opposed to Target employees are being threatened by, in fact, a very, very small group of people who represent a very small minority of the anti-gay sentiment, he told Fox News Digital. Of course, he'd be talking to Fox News about this, and they're probably like, oh yes, because, we're definitely the party of the gays now. Didn't you see what Ted Cruz tweeted? Fucking yuck. And I don't know where he was at on this one. Target did try to do that to begin with. Oh, because of the safety of some of our employees, we're just moving this stuff out of the way. Not for the fact that people were starting to feel emboldened by Bud Light's boycott success and then just going, yeah, we don't like this stuff anymore. And Target, you want to go out there and you want to put yourself right out there on Front Street? All right, then, you got to face the consequences with your stupid placating, virtue signaling antics. So, to some extent, we have to weigh against how do you handle the issue of real potential employee safety issues. Cite the fucking source. Provide receipts before you make these brain-dead assertions. But you're not. You're not going to. Against losing so much earned trust with this community and the supporters of this community, which are very broad now and across political lines, so that's a challenge. No, at least for the time being, the quote-unquote Republican gay supporters, your Dave Rubin fans that are out there, they don't want this stuff. They don't want this stuff out there on Front Street, okay? What they do in the privacy of their own bedrooms is totally up to them. If they're being gay, fantastic. You don't have to make it a lifestyle. That's just what you want to do. I don't run around going, yeah, I'm a choking, slapping, hair-pulling Canadian. I don't make my proclivities my central defining characteristics. But these people, they can't think outside of the tip of their dick. And they think that, oh, we need it represented. That's just the advocate side of this stuff. Regular gay people, as much as you can have regular gay people, okay? Those who don't make it a big issue, yeah, they don't need to have big gay calendars or big gay mugs. They're totally fine with just wearing normal clothes, drinking out of normal cutlery, or using normal cutlery, drinking out of regular mugs, there we go, and then strapping on a regular whatever they want to do, okay? So yeah, I don't buy this idea at all that yes, representation. Since the backlash, Target's market value has fallen over $12 billion to $61.77 billion as of Tuesday's closing price. Mid-month, the market value was over $74 billion. And it's not like, if you didn't understand their executive structure, this was something very easily discoverable, because check this out, okay? So, shocking. Target's diversity chief, Kiera Fernandez, oh boy, you know what time it is just from the title and just from the name. She said that it's the role of the white women to call out transgressions. So you're saying the quiet part out loud right there. Nothing ends up happening. Nobody makes a movement in corporate America, or in the government specifically, until it becomes a woman's issue, or until somebody starts to ask to speak to the manager, and continued to single out white employees, and said that because of her race, her voice carries more weight and she has a responsibility. What? She runs Target's Racial Equity Action and Change. That's the division that's going to get cut, mostly due to the horrendous losses over the past couple of weeks. Her task focuses on engaging with black customers and hiring more black employees. Probably not in the areas of the videos that we've seen recently from what we would call non-confrontational shoppers. You know, the ones that like to fill up baskets full of stuff, and they don't even want to bother the cashiers. They'll just take their stuff and they'll just walk right out. They are just such great people. Those are the people that you're trying to interact with? Okay. Target is also shifting to more black-owned suppliers and ending contracts with white-owned companies. She was hired internally from the Human Resources Department. Of course she was. Of course she was. And would you like to hear her talk in person? Because she just seems like quite the bundle of joy. Target's DEI chief, Kiera Fernandez, one of the hottest things to do. One of the hottest things to be in the world every day is black. Talking to a black lady on a set that's very white in the back. That's very racist. That's right there. But let's hear this idiot talk. It's only 19 seconds. How long can we go before we hit the pause button?
One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is black.
Okay, and you just don't have to back that up. You can just have this pregnant pause right afterwards. We got 4 seconds in. That was longer than I thought.
One of the hardest things to be in the world every day is a woman.
See, intersectionality. Play that victim card. You triggered my victim card. Fantastic stuff.
So when you intersect those two things, you could easily identify differently if you wanted to, for protect, whatever, right? I'm not judging anybody, but I know who I see every time I look in the mirror.
Apparently not, because you can't correctly diagnose that you see somebody who's supposed to have a vaunted position, I'm sure. And given what you do with the company, you were only hired because you checked the correct boxes. But life is so hard to be a woman. It's even harder to be black. And then when you infuse all of this neo-Marxist psychobabble, it just becomes incredibly difficult in order to just operate today's society. Yo, man. You wonder why your company's in such a shit position, because you hire people like that. You get what you fucking deserve. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That should be Target's new slogan. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.